Let's be honest with ourselves. There is a specific kind of darkness that comes when you realize you are standing at ground zero. Maybe you've lost your savings, maybe you've damaged your reputation, or maybe you've just wasted years of potential that you can never get back. In those moments, it's easy to feel like the world has moved on without you, leaving you behind in the ruins of your own making. But there is something you need to understand right now. The most powerful men in history were not those who never fell, but those who used the bricks of their destroyed lives to build a fortress that nothing could ever knock down again. A comeback is not a stroke of luck. It is not something that happens to you while you wait and hope. A comeback is an architectural feat. It requires a blueprint, a foundation, and the relentless discipline to lay one brick at a time, even when your hands are shaking and the progress feels invisible. If you are tired of living in the shadow of your past and you are ready to engineer a future that commands respect, then welcome to the Ninja Masculine Mindset. Today, we are going to break down the 7 strategic pillars of the ultimate masculine comeback. The audit of the ruins. Before you can build, you must clear the debris. You cannot construct a new life if you are still trying to hide the wreckage of the old one. This means performing a radical, honest audit of where you stand. How much debt do you actually owe? Who have you hurt? What habits led you to this point? Write it down. All of it. By looking at the wreckage directly, you take away its power to haunt you. You aren't failing by acknowledging your current position. You are establishing the baseline. A commander cannot win a war if he doesn't know where his troops are or how much ammunition he has left. Face the numbers, face the truth, and stop the bleeding today. The principle of radical financial austerity. If you are coming back from a financial hit, especially one caused by addiction or poor judgment, your relationship with money must change instantly. You are no longer a consumer, you are a rebuilder. This means cutting every non-essential expense with surgical precision. Every dollar that leaves your pocket must be a calculated investment in your survival or your growth. This austerity is not a punishment, it is a declaration of war. It is the process of starving the old, impulsive version of yourself so that the new, disciplined man can thrive. When you learn to live on less than you earn, you begin to regain the frame of a man who is in control. Wealth is not built on big wins. It is built on the daily discipline of retention. The acquisition of high-value skills. The marketplace does not care about your feelings, your past, or your apologies. It only cares about the value you can provide. If your previous life was built on sand, your new life must be built on the rock of competence. You must become a student again. Whether it is mastering a new technology, learning a trade, or sharpening your understanding of human psychology and sales, you must dedicate your nights and mornings to becoming undeniable. When you possess a skill that the world needs, you possess leverage. Leverage is the currency of a comeback. It is the tool that allows you to climb out of the pit and back onto the stage. Choose your craft, commit to 10,000 hours of focus, and let your results speak for you. The death of your social ego. One of the biggest obstacles to a great comeback is the fear of what other people think. You might be embarrassed that you are starting over at a certain age, or that you are working a job you feel is beneath you. Let's be honest, that ego is what kept you stuck. To come back, you must be willing to be the fool for a season so that you can become the master for a lifetime. Focus on the man you were yesterday. If you have to take an entry-level position to stabilize your life, take it with pride and be the most disciplined person in the building. A man who is willing to do whatever it takes to reclaim his honor is a man who can never be truly defeated. The engineering of a new environment. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. If you are still surrounded by the same people who encouraged your bad habits, or if your physical space is a constant reminder of your failures, you are fighting an uphill battle. A strategic comeback requires an environmental shift. This might mean changing your social circle, or even moving to a new city if possible. At the very least, it means curating your digital environment.
Unfollow the accounts that trigger your envy or your addictions. Follow the voices that demand excellence. Your mind is a garden. If you keep planting weeds, don't be surprised when you can't find the fruit. Surround yourself with the energy of the man you are becoming, not the man you are leaving behind. The momentum of small, boring victories. Most men fail their comeback because they try to do too much too fast. They want the grand slam that fixes everything in a weekend. But real, lasting change is found in the boring victories. Waking up at 5 a.m., drinking enough water, completing your to-do list, saving $10. These small wins are the dopamine hits that your brain needs to stay the course. They are the evidence that you are no longer the person who breaks promises to himself. When you stack enough of these small victories together, you create a momentum that becomes an unstoppable force. You aren't just changing your life, you are changing your identity, one small decision at a time. The transformation of pain into purpose. The final pillar of the architecture is the most profound. You must find a way to make your past pain serve your future purpose. The struggle you are going through right now is not a waste of time. It is your training ground. The shame you felt, the hunger you experienced, and the lessons you learned are your greatest assets. One day, you will be the man who has been there. You will have a level of empathy, grit, and wisdom that people who have lived easy lives can never understand. Use the memory of your lowest point as the fuel for your highest climb. You are no longer a victim of your history. You are the hero of your own epic. This journey requires the silence of a ninja and the mindset of a king. It requires you to work in the shadows until your light becomes too bright to ignore. If you are ready to start building, I want to see it in the comments. Write the word architect. Join the Ninja Masculine Mindset community as we push each other toward the highest versions of ourselves. We don't just survive setbacks, we use them as launch pads. Stay disciplined, stay silent in your labor, and build something that will last for generations. I will see you in the next video.